Right, so about a month ago, I uploaded a video talking about Mikayla Nogueira and her wedding because a lot of people seem to have a problem with it. And my general conclusion coming away from that video was the fact that it's her wedding, you know, she can kind of just do whatever she wants. But regardless of my thoughts, there was a lot of drama surrounding the wedding, and Mikayla Nogueira has now came out and spoke about the situation and give her thoughts on what people had a problem with. So just to give you a quick update on what a bunch of people had a problem with someone else's wedding. It all kind of started when this picture came to light. It's someone showing a save the date, so basically an invite to the wedding. I actually didn't know what the difference between a save the date and an invite was. I kind of thought they were pretty similar, but I suppose a save the date is before the invite. Does that make sense? But either way, this person received the save the date. As we can see, it's for the wedding of Mikayla Jane Nogueira and Cody James Hawken. And the person who received this save the date decided to come out publicly and bash Mikayla because they received this save the date, but then didn't get an official invite to the wedding. And this basically resulted in a lot of people saying that Mikayla Nogueira was picking influencers over her friends. Which, if that was the case, it is a bit shitty. I would more feel bad for Mikayla because she's probably going to look back at them wedding photos and not see any of her friends and family there and be gutted. But now we've heard Mikayla's side, it doesn't really seem like that's the case. But this person in particular did get uninvited to the wedding, I guess. But even after that whole save the date stuff, apparently this person who didn't get invited was still pissed off. And the reason why I say apparently is because it hasn't been 100% confirmed if these text messages are real and it is from that person. This whole save the date situation is 100% a real situation. Mikayla has confirmed that. But there is a chance that these text messages are fake. But apparently these were text messages from the person who was pissed off about not being invited to Mikayla. I see right through you, just so you are aware. To send someone a save the date and then not send them an invitation is incredibly classless. You ghosted me to avoid sending me an invitation to your influencer wedding. That's some foul ass shit. I believe in karma, and she will get you one day. You'll look back at your wedding photos in 10 years from now and deeply regret inviting all of those internet strangers that you didn't even know. I truly hope wasting this very special day and a bunch of fake friends is worth it to you. And look, if this was all true, the fact that Mikayla uninvited a bunch of her friends and family just to have some influencers there, yeah, she would be looking back at that and regret it most likely, right? But like I said in that video, it did seem like there was a lot of information missing from this situation, and now we've actually seen Mikayla's statement, it definitely seems like it has been a bit over-exaggerated. And that's coming from me, someone who's made a few negative videos towards Mikayla, talking about like her scams and lies and all that stuff in the past. I just don't feel like this situation was anywhere near as deep as what it was made to seem like, but yeah, a lot of people were pissed off. And in fact, if these messages are real, the only person I see in the wrong here, really, is this person. For first of all, sending a very horrible message because they didn't get invited to someone's wedding when they can invite whoever they want, but then also leaking the text messages just seems a bit weird to me. But either way, like I said, Mikayla's uploaded a couple of videos addressing a bunch of the allegations, if you really want to call them that, about her wedding. So let's get into it.
So it's the best day of my life. Cody and I are so happy. We're officially husband and wife. Then the morning after my wedding, I wake up to a bunch of text messages. Yep. Mikayla, don't go on TikTok. Don't go on TikTok. Don't go on TikTok. Don't go on TikTok. Don't Google anything. I didn't. I haven't seen a single video about my wedding or any like news or anything, but I have been told what has been said.
Yeah, unfortunately that was always going to happen because Mikayla is a very polarizing figure. She's done a bunch of stuff in the past that a lot of people have a problem with. I've made videos talking about that type of stuff. And it wasn't just the whole like eyelash situation where she lied about the eyelashes, which I just found hilarious. I don't get why she ever did that. But there is a bunch more stuff that's happened previously of her talking to like waiters at restaurants, like very rudely, to other situations where she's like potentially scam people and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff you can say. And since she made her wedding so public, she was making a bunch of videos on the run-up to the wedding. She promoted the wedding as if it was like a big YouTube event. People were going to have their opinions, and the chances are there was going to be some negative opinions there too. But with that being said, I still do believe that there was a bunch of people who took it way too far and were getting way too involved in someone else's wedding when it's supposed to be like their happiest day of their lives, right? So I didn't really get that.
Was my wedding sponsored? I can't with you fuckers. No, my wedding wasn't sponsored. None of it. Absolutely none of my wedding was sponsored. And I'll show you why people are saying that. As you guys know, I came out with a lip kit with Elle for my wedding day. I got to wear it at my wedding. It was awesome. And then, of course, I wanted to have some sort of wedding favor at my wedding. So I decided I would have my lip kit. And then me and my wedding planner had this sick idea to create a kissing booth. And it's basically this really cool photo moment. You can go up there with your partner, give him a kiss, and get a photo. This had nothing to do with Elf. I paid for this and the whole wedding myself, and I actually had to ask Elf permission to put their logo on the kissing booth.
Yeah, I mean, look, that seems completely fair to me. Obviously, some people are pissed off about the fact that it could be sponsored, which wouldn't surprise me. I feel like people have had sponsors for their weddings previously, like influencers, to help pay for it. But you can also see why people would think it's sponsored. I mean, the Elf logo is literally on the booths. Like, that would be a pretty, like, sensible thought to have, right? But yeah, I don't really think this would be too much of a big deal regardless.
Did I uninvite family and friends so I could invite influencers? Oh, my wedding was 175 people. 10% of that was influencers. And the reason why it seemed like it was all influencers is because the only people posting on TikTok are influencers. So that's all you're gonna see. My grandma isn't making a TikTok about my wedding, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very fair explanation. I guess the bit that people found odd is that she was inviting influencers that she had never met before. I mean, there was multiple people who made TikToks talking about how they're going to Mikayla's wedding, and they've never actually met and they can't wait to meet her. So I guess that can be seen as a little bit odd, but yet again, it's her wedding. She can invite who she wants. She could invite fucking, I don't know, Bailey. I'm sure Bailey would have loved a day out. So yeah, I think regardless, it is her choice, so it doesn't really matter, but that does make sense as to why people thought it was so influencer heavy, because they're the people who were posting pictures.
If you're wondering about the friend that I chose not to invite, they're not my friend, and I'm sure you can see why.
Yeah, and there she was addressing the person who did this whole post about the save the date and the text messages and all that stuff. And yeah, you can see why they wouldn't be friends anymore. I don't think your friend would post like fucking text messages publicly that they've sent you, just calling you every name under the sun. And to be fair, I saw a lot of comments on my video talking about this, which I agreed with, and they were saying, well, I mean, you can see why they wouldn't invite them, just by the way they've acted through this situation. There's clearly a good reason why they're not invited. And yeah, there's clearly still a lot more to this situation that we don't know of. Like, we don't know why they fell out or whatever. We know nothing about it. That's why I thought it was a bit odd that people were so angry about this person getting uninvited. The only way why I would maybe side with the people who were saying that is if it was genuinely the case that Mikayla was uninviting her friends just to invite influencers. I would say that's a very shitty thing to do. But yeah, it seems like it was an ex-friend. They had a falling out. Something happened along the lines. They didn't get invited. That's pretty much it.
Her wedding was a brand trip. What? It's probably the most outlandish one. I mean, you guys have to understand, influencers are just people, dude. Like, these are my coworkers that I've been getting to know and befriended over the last 3 years.
So I just love it when, like, influencers try to, like, prove to people that they're humans, too, as if people don't know that. Guys, you don't understand how hard it is being this famous and this rich, alright? I'm just a human like you. But yes, obviously, influencers can be friends. There was just a few influencers who were posting videos talking about going to the wedding when they hadn't even met before, so I guess that's why people decided it was a bit of a brand trip. I don't know, like I've said so many times now, I feel like this situation can just be boiled down to she can invite who she wants. I think it's that simple.
It was really disheartening that so many people had so much to say about my wedding before I could even say anything. And I understand if you don't like me, I get it, but it's my wedding day. I only have this day once in my life.
You know what, I completely get that, but also, what are you really expecting when you've promoted the wedding so much on your TikTok? You're doing these, like, big get ready with me videos where you're testing out new stuff for the wedding, you're talking about, like, the new plans for it. Like, you made it a big piece of your content. So obviously people are going to get invested in it and they're going to have opinions. Do I think it's right that they would say, like, negative stuff about someone else's wedding? Obviously not, but you surely got to expect that. I think if you really didn't want people to have, like, opinions on it and you wanted to speak about it in your own time and didn't want anyone to even mention it, you obviously wouldn't mention it was happening in the first place. You wouldn't even bring it up. Which a lot of, like, YouTubers have done previously. They've had these weddings and kept them a secret until it's happened and spoke about it afterwards. Seems like it becomes a lot less drama-oriented, you know? So yeah, I think there was definitely ways around that.
Not a single rumor that spread about my wedding was true, and that's how rumors usually work. Thankfully, I was in utter wedding bliss, so I didn't let any of it bother me or get me down, but I did want to address it today because it's just so wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that is sad. I can imagine that must be, like, a really shitty feeling, you know, you just had the best day ever, you come back and people are having a go at you about your wedding that you thought went incredibly. And yeah, of course, Mikayla hasn't really helped herself previously with, like, the lies about, like, the mascara, the fucking scams and all that shit. And when I say she hasn't helped herself, I mean in terms of, like, the viewer's perception, you know? When these situations come out and someone said, oh, I was invited to the wedding, but then I got uninvited to the wedding so James Charles could go. People are probably going to believe that a lot more based on the fact that Mikayla has been seen to lie previously and has done some dodgy stuff previously, so now people's perception is, oh, this is something that she would do. But do I think that's right to try and ruin someone's, like, wedding day and start, like, slating a wedding? No, I don't think it really has anything to do with anyone, and like I said, she can invite who she wants, all that type of stuff. Yeah, I think that's where it has came from.
Anyways, we missed you. We love you, and I'm so fucking excited to be back.
Okay, right, I will say, that dog is fucking beautiful. I mean, look how cute he is, for God's sake. Suddenly I forgot every bad thing that Mikayla has done. Fuck's sake, that is actually adorable. But yeah, that is Mikayla addressing the situation. I didn't feel like it had to be such a big situation in the first place, but I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Maybe you do disagree, that's completely fine. Let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'm gonna leave the video there. So if you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.